हे दोस्तों, वेलकम टू अपना कम्युनिटी। ये वो जगह है जहां आप अपने हे दोस्तों, वेलकम टू अपना कम्युनिटी। ये वो जगह है जहां आप अपने असली पोटेंशियल को एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हैं। देखो, सबके पास स्किल्स होते हैं, पर क्या आपके अंदर वो स्पार्क है जो आपको कामयाबी की ऊंचाइयों तक ले जा सकता है? अगर आप सोच रहे हैं जॉब चेंज करने के लिए, लेकिन रेज्यूमे सेलेक्ट नहीं हो रहा, या फिर इंग्लिश में इंटरव्यू देना थोड़ा चैलेंजिंग लग रहा है, तो फिक्र मत कीजिए। यहां हम हैं आपके साथ, आपको सपोर्ट करने के लिए। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगी बेहतरीन कम्युनिटीज, जहां आप अपने प्रोफेशनल स्किल्स को सुधार सकते हैं। चाहे आप एक्सेल, टैली, जीएसटी में माहिर बनना चाहें, या फिर आप खुद एक ब्यूटिशियन या डिजाइनर हैं, तो यहां आप अपने काम को शोकेस करके दूसरों को टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स देते हुए आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगा मेंटर्स का एक खजाना और बड़े इन्फ्लुएंसर्स का साथ, जो आपको हर कदम पर 1-to-1 गाइड करेंगे। यहां आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं अपने फील्ड या इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक ग्रुप्स, जहां आपको ऐसे कई लोग मिलेंगे जिनसे सीख के आप वो गलती ना करें जो वो कर चुके हैं। ऐसे लोगों की जिन्होंने स्टार्ट किया था एज एग्जीक्यूटिव्स एंड आर नाउ सक्सेसफुल मैनेजर्स इन देयर डोमेन्स, जो आपको आगे बढ़ाने में मदद करेगा। यहां आपको मिलेगा वो सही डायरेक्शन जो आपकी करियर को नेक्स्ट लेवल ले जाएगा। तो लेट्स अनलॉक योर पोटेंशियल टुगेदर। अपना कम्युनिटी में ज्वाइन करें और अपने सपनों की ऊंचाइयों तक पहुंचने का सफर शुरू करें।
Hey guys, good evening. Thank you for joining in. We'll be starting today's session now. This is part of Apna Community Exclusives in association with QFIS. So we host regular sessions at 7 p.m. on weekdays and between 3 to 5 p.m. on weekends. We've been covering a variety of subjects like product management, sales, spoken English, interview prep, technical skills, etc. Main objective of these sessions is to help you grow professionally, help in the advancement of your career, get better jobs, and also expose you to industry experts from whom you can learn a lot of things. So today's session is about global marketing strategies for emerging sales professionals. So for this session, we have Sarthak with us. A quick introduction about Sarthak. He's a senior market development at Netradine. He brings a valuable experience from his work with innovative startups in the US and Asian markets, along with a stint as an entrepreneur, during which his startup was incubated by two government bodies. Beyond work, Sarthak is also a published photographer. He enjoys playing musical instrument and is passionate about snooker, chess, and badminton. He has a few years of experience as a mentor as well. We are so glad to have him with us today. Thank you so much, Sarthak, for joining us. Guys, a quick reminder, if you have any questions, please do feel free to use the chat box. You can drop your messages there. Also, you can unmute yourselves and ask. I see, Surita, you've already raised your hand. Is there some query you had? Yeah, Sunita, go on. You can ask your question. अगर आपका कोई सवाल है तो आप पूछ सकते हैं सुनीता. Okay, Sarthak, I think it's by mistake. So, Sarthak, you can start. So, we have two participants right now. I think there'll be few joining in as in when we go. So, we'll just assume we're also doing this for the recordings in the future as well. So, you can present the content accordingly. So, handing it over to you, Sarthak.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you for calling me over here as well. Hello, folks. This is Sarthak, and as Siddharth has already introduced me, so I bring in quite a decent amount of experience into the sales and the marketing domain. I'll be covering like what are like some of the couple of tricks and like how you can get a job into sales and how you can like clear all these interview processes and give your best shot into all these interviews. Allow me to share my screen. Before I do that, I would like to know in what language are we comfortable in? Like, is it English, is it Hindi, or it's a mix of both? Like, you can please feel free to write in the chat section and we'll take it from there. Yeah, Sunita, you have some questions? Okay, maybe I'll take it as a no. We'll be using both over here. If anybody has any problem with that, just let me know and we'll take it accordingly. Good. I'm sharing my screen. Let me know if you all can see it. Hmm. Is it visible?
Yeah, Sarthak, it is.
Perfect, perfect. So we are going to deep dive into global marketing strategies for emerging sales professional. Moving ahead, so first thing I would like to ask is that, like from you, the panel members, like, are you all in college or are you currently working somewhere or are you in the phase of like transiting between college to working? I'll meanwhile switch my screen as well just to know like what you folks are telling. So yeah, like, are there any college students in this panel right now or are all are working professional? You can type in the chat section. Or okay, perfect. So we have a college student as well. Okay, perfect. Yeah, looking for a job. Yeah, perfect. Okay, yeah. So the starting couple of slides are just particularly for the college students. Like what or how you can plan your college days or college years to get the most out of it. Sorry for my bad throat. So, if you are in the early years of your college, so like just try to get into something or the other always and just to identify what you actually like. So, for example, let's say I'll take just my example because I can relate to this. I am a computer science engineer, but while I was in my engineering college days, I somehow couldn't get my interest toward coding or stuff like that into more of the technical side of things. So within the starting, like in first and second year itself, I realized that this is not my thing and I might not able to do it throughout my life. So from the start of the first year itself, I started to finding, like I tried to get into different things so that I can identify like what I really like. So by this, I means to say that if you are into your college days, never stop experimenting and like just keep experiment, find your own niche, identify what you actually like, and pursue in that direction. At least not for your whole life, then at least for some of your time, so that you don't regret it in your later days or in upcoming days. So just try to identify what you actually like. Moving ahead, so, in for college students particularly, what college always says you is that either you should be doing summer internship, which is like a 2 month internship, or a winter internship, which is like a 10, 15 days, or even sometimes a month internship. But I do not believe on this concept. I believe that a college student is comparatively free post college. Like you attend your college like 6, 7 hours, 8 hours you spend over there. Post that you get some of time which you can actually devote working for some or the other organization, and not just even organization, like whatever you like, invest your time into that. So like what all you'll get is that you'll identify your niche, as we mentioned. You'll earn some extra money as well, because everybody knows that in college money sometimes can become an issue. So you should always look out for work post your college hours, post like once you are done with your homeworks, your assignments, your college. I'm not saying that to skip your college to work, but it's just that like extra time which you can put in after all these hustle. And you should try to do work all year round. Like just don't just stick to summer internship or a winter internship. Just do it whenever you get a particular opportunity. How or when you will get it, we'll discuss it in the later stage. But just keep doing on internships. Again, I would like to quote one of my examples only. So while I was identifying this thing that okay, so technical like computer science or the coding is something which I do not like, so I started pursuing my internships into the sales and marketing domain. During that time, back in 2015, 2016, it was comparatively easy, I would say, as compared to nowadays. And I tried to do like 3, 4 internships in my like entire year tenure. Even like I was studying in Jaipur and I got some internships here in Bangalore, so I came all the way here for internships in Bangalore and started doing that as well, which actually gave me some good connections. So just try to do work for organization, try to do what you actually like all year round. Coming up for next for college students. So, do you participate? By participating, I mean that it could be your college fest, it could be your college events, it could be your inter-college events, or it could be clubs like entrepreneur club, finance clubs, coding clubs, a drone club, robotics club. Everybody has that in your college. So try to participate, try to engage in all these activities. The reason why I'm saying is that the connections which you build over there will really work for you in your later life. Secondly, your communication will be really good post that. And like stuff like time management, money management, managing your own self, you'll definitely see a lot of change post, like once you are part of all these events, organizations, clubs. It could be cultural fest, like you take up a volunteer or you volunteer for a position for your cultural fest. It could be any role, it could be any role of your choice, but try to get involved into multiple activities apart from your academics as well, if you actually want to get into sales profession and stuff like that, because communication will definitely help you over there. Cool. Any, I would like to take a pause. Any questions we have so far, though it's nothing important which we have discussed as of now, but yeah, any questions? Cool. I take it as a no. We'll move ahead. Perfect. So once you are done with your early stage of your college, now the time comes if you are in the final year of your bachelor's, and this is the time for placements. So definitely your college, you'll get some multiple companies coming onto your campuses as well, for which you have to actually prepare. Like you have to clear their technical rounds, you have to clear their mental ability rounds, you have to actually clear the interviews as well. So this is the on-campus process which your college or your training placement officer or even like mentors coming from that particular organization will help you, like how you can navigate with all these processes and how you can actually clear the interview. Second up thing which students don't take much seriously is the off-campus placements as well. And speaking of today's time, everybody knows that since next last couple of years, the recession is already on its peak. There are like only handful of companies which are actually giving jobs to freshers out there or to like recent graduates out there. We have already seen the statistics for different IIMs and IITs for this year as well. So we need to understand that we cannot rely 100% onto the on-campus thing. We need to focus on off-campus as well. Off-campus, I mean is that you move ahead a single step just to identify what all companies are offering a job right now or an internship right now, and you try to apply over there. For the application process and stuff like that, we'll be covering it in the upcoming slides, but you have to make that little step to go out of your comfort zone, identify what all companies are there right now in the market, and you just go ahead and apply over there. Perfect. And definitely on campus is something which will give you better and efficient results, or I would say faster results, because companies are already come there at your area or at your college. So on campus is something like you cannot compromise there, but parallelly you need to focus on your off campus placements as well. This thing which I believe that students or college students are lacking over here is that they do not take a LinkedIn very seriously. Please make sure that you are actively involved onto your LinkedIn. Like how do you are active on your Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and stuff like that. You need to make sure that you are active on LinkedIn. You have decent amount of connections. You are connected with good folks over there as well, or relevant folks there which can give you referrals. So for example, if you saw a job in Netradine and I work over there, and if you are connected on LinkedIn, then you can just simply ask me that, hey, can you please refer me? There are two advantages out of it. First is that your work gets very easier. Second is that it's my like a employee who is working for an XYZ organization. It's if they refer you, and if by any chance you get selected and you are finally working for that organization, I'll also making some extra money just because I gave them a referral. So nobody will say you are no for a referral, and you need to just trust the process that okay, LinkedIn, you should be using it more frequently. You should make good connections over there, and not just that, you can see what all jobs are there active right now onto your on the LinkedIn, and you can just directly apply from there. I believe somebody raised a question. Mm. Yes, Sunita.
Sunita actually has mentioned if you can speak in Telugu, but Sunita Sarthak is not well versed in that language, so we'll be continuing with English for now. If you have any questions, you can put it across and ask him. He'll answer.
Thank you, Siddharth. Yeah. So, LinkedIn is something everybody should focus on, build good connections over there. And yeah, we'll move forward. So, make an investment. So, by this, I'm not saying start an SIP or I will invest in the mutual funds. If you're a sales professional, you'll definitely come across some tools which gives you data about your prospects. So, for example, that I am pitching a software to an XYZ organization. I know that this ABC person could be a decision maker. So I need to get some details of that particular person. I can definitely send him a request over LinkedIn, and whenever he accepts it, I can pitch him over there and then. But apart from that, there are different tools out there which can give you mobile numbers, which can give you email IDs, and it's not illegal over here. All these tools are readily available into the market. But for right now, what I am saying is that you can combine, like you get some bunch of your friends along, because these tools are not like very cheap. These are decent amount tools. It could be Lucia, it could be Apollo IO, and there are multiple tools which you can find out onto the internet. You just go through the reviews, identify what works best for you, and sorry, once you start using these tools, so everybody sees on LinkedIn that if a particular company has posted an opening, it could be internship, it could be a job onto LinkedIn, there's in maximum cases there's an HR name associated with that opening. This and this HR has posted this particular opening. So you can get onto that HR profile using all these tools. You can get their basic email IDs, phone number. Now, I'm not saying to bother them out of their comfort zone. You can just simply email them stating that, hey, I saw this post of yours on LinkedIn. I would like to apply for this particular position. Here's my CV. Can you please let me know the next steps? Simply, you can just drop them. If you are not getting a reply onto their emails, you can just simply drop them a WhatsApp. But please make sure you are not bothering them. Uh, enough. Like these tools are meant to use to make your life easier, not their life tougher. So use these tools wisely. You can, like, multiple or bunch of your friends can gather along and purchase a particular subscription for a month or a 2 month or a 3 months, depending on your requirements and needs. And this investment will actually give you results. The reason I'm saying is that in today's world, if you see a particular opening out there, you'll also see that there are hundreds and thousands of people who have applied for that particular position. Everybody knows that. So you need to make sure that you make something which makes you stand out of that hundreds or thousands of people. So this is something which will definitely make you stand out. Apart from that, from an HR point of view, you are actually making their work easier as well, because they don't have to hunt for multiple folks out there. If you reach out to them, they'll see, oh, this guy or this lady has already reached out to me. Let me take a look at their CV and move forward, like how to take it forward and stuff like that. So this investment can give you quick and easy results as well. And this is my personal story as well. I use these tools to get in touch with different HRs or different, like, folks on LinkedIn, maybe either for applying for a job or maybe for pitching as well, pitching my software, pitching my product and stuff like that. And it definitely works. So you, along with your friends, can buy this. You can all use them wisely. And again, I'll quote this: do not bother them much. This is for your own convenience, not to make their life tougher. Yeah. General steps. So if you are applying for a job or for an internship, what is actually the process, or how does the process looks like? So as I mentioned in the earlier previous slide, reaching out to HR or hiring partners. All these hiring partners or HRs you can see on LinkedIn, or maybe like whatever portal you use. Either it could be Naukri, it could be Indeed, it could be Monster. Uh, any portal you use, you'll come across HR names over there. That HR names, you can put that into LinkedIn, come across their profiles, and just send them a connection request. Once they accept it, you can just simply pitch yourself to them that, hey, I'm looking for a job. Here's my CV. Can you please let me know? This is the step one. Step two, which mostly folks do not do, is that they do not follow up. And in sales or in real life, follow-ups are really, really important. So your role doesn't get over once you just simply drop them a message and wait for them to reply. Nobody will reply you at the first place. In maximum cases, it's always that you have to follow up in a systematic way. It's not that you are bothering them, like following up every day and every minute and stuff like that. Take some time, identify some pain points, and in every follow-up mail or in every follow-up call you do, try to put in some valuable information which makes you stand out of the public as well. So for example, that if I am applying for a sales development representative role for a software company, for a B2B company, so first mail will be definitely that I am looking for a job, I have a decent sales internship experience, and here's my CV. Let's say that the HR does not reply to my email or to my LinkedIn request. Second up is that you can say that I bring along sales experience, as I have done this in my college time. I have managed this in my college times. So every mail you add, try to add a little bit more information, which will keep the HR excited as well. That okay, oh, this guy or this lady has this amount or this skill sets, and we can have a word about it. So yeah, follow-ups are mandatory. And last is that in sales, unlike tech, because when you are a tech folk, there are multiple languages, there are multiple tools. Everybody knows like C++, Java, Python, R, and there are multiple languages out there. So there is no single person of a tech which is like 100% capable of doing every coding things and stuff like that. But unlike sales is kind of like if you are into like only there are only two sales, right? Like either you are selling it to an organization or you are selling it to a customer, like B2 B2C, B2 B2G. I'm not getting into the stuff, but on a broader sense, there are just two types of sales, either to an organization or to a customer. So sales, for when you are applying for a sales role, there's nothing much to deep dive into JDs and companies and stuff at the first place. So I would like to suggest is that you apply to more and more companies, because applying more into more companies doesn't take much of your time, unlike tech, where you have to actually go through the JD, identify that do you know this coding language, do you know this coding tool or not. In sales, it's quite generic. So I would recommend that try to apply more, so that your chances of getting more interviews, like you'll get a chance to get more interviews. So yeah. And any questions in this meanwhile? Perfect. I'll take it as a no. Sales go-to key. So this is a person-to-person thing. I might feel that this is my go-to key. Some other sales folk might feel that, okay, no, this is my key, and so there's the third one. So I particularly believe that if you want to step into the sales domain, first is that your communication. It doesn't matter what language you speak. It could be any language, but your communication, ultimately what you actually want to say should go to the other person's ear and they should understand it. That's what communication is, right? So communication should be strong. For that, as I mentioned in the earlier slides, that if you're a college student, trying try to participate in different events, college fest and stuff like that. If you're looking for a job, maybe communication is something which you will build alongside. Like if you are applying it to multiple companies, you will get a call from HRs, and slowly and steadily you will build your communications around that time. Second point is this, that rejection is okay. Sales is something wherein you get multiple rejections, which leads to multiple heartbreaks. Trust me, rejections are tough times sometimes, and in your early stages or in your early career, you sometimes might feel that you don't want to pursue sales any further because you're not getting the results, or you're getting more of a rejections. But trust me, rejection is completely fine. It's just that you need to trust the process, you need to trust yourself. Not every day is a good day. Sometimes there are bad days as well, and in bad days you might get rejections, but definitely there are good days as well where you will definitely achieve your targets in sales. So rejection is okay. Never get disheartened, or just do not sit ideal just because you are getting back-to-back rejections. Just try to do the thing which you are doing on a regular basis. If you need to make cold calls to 70 people in a day as part of your sales process, if you are not getting results for even a week as well, do not get disheartened. Next week, get up with get up with new energy, try to make again that 70 calls. Slowly and steadily, you will definitely see the results. Third is listen well. In sales, if you're pitching to someone, they might have their own problems as well, right? Not every, like, you cannot just pitch a product to everybody out there. So you need to identify their pain points as well, like whether they actually need it or not. Sales, by like I don't like I definitely want to say that sales is pushy in nature as well. Like you sometimes have to push, but on the other end you need to listen as well, like what the other person is talking about. Is it something which will add value to them or not? So listen well. Fourth, as we have already discussed, like not everyone is your customer. You cannot just sell your product to each and everybody out there. There is a limit to it, so you need to identify that whether this person or this organization is a customer or not, and deviate your energy accordingly. So yeah. And lastly, I would say is that understand your product well. No matter if you are doing into customer side of things selling, or to our organization side of thing sellings, if you are selling a software, or if you are selling an actual product, just try to understand your product well before pitching to anybody. Perfect. Is there any questions so far? Cool. Moving forward. Uh, so about the interview process as well. So let's say that I'm taking the interview for a sales profile for a retail brand out there. So if you are giving an interview for a sales professional generally, and especially in your starting days, they will be asking you generic questions. Those case studies which we'll be discussing in the upcoming slides as well. But those will be generic questions. For example, where do you see yourself in next 5 years, or why do you want to be in sales, or what are your strengths and weaknesses and stuff like that. So in that particular situation, people sometimes get like very much reluctant, or they get into much stress. So for that, I would like to say that just be yourself, identify what you actually are and what you actually want to be. And once we have your this clarity, like, okay, this is something which I really wanted to do, in that case, in your interview, you will be just speaking truth. uh, and you'll be very much confident. So I would like to say that during the interview process, never get stressed out. Just be yourself, and firstly know yourself better, that is this something you really wanted to do. So yeah, this is something which is a like a team activity, not team activity, it will be an individual activity. These are some cases. I would like to, like, everybody on this call, I would like you to just go through one of like these questions one by one, and in within your mind just think about it, like what would be the answer. So for example, if I am asking you what makes you a successful salesperson, so just think in your mind, go refresh all your old memories and just think like, what would make you a successful salesperson? I'll give you a minute for this. Just think about this particular situation. Meanwhile, it could be that you did a great job during your college days by managing an event, and you did some sales at a particular booth out there. Or it could be that you manage your father's business out there, making some sales over there. Or it could be anything. It could be a previous job experience. It could be a previous internship experience. But just think about this once. Perfect. Cool. We'll move on to second question. Post rejection, how do you keep yourself motivated? So let's say that you had a pretty bad week this month in your job, like in your job, in your internship, and you are somehow couldn't cracking out the sales process. So how do you keep yourself motivated for the upcoming week or the upcoming month? So for me, I believe that motivation for me is intrinsic more over extrinsic. I might watch a motivation video out there on YouTube or on social media handles, but that for me, that will motivate me for some or the other, like couple minutes or couple hours only. This will not go for me for a long term. So I believe that intrinsic motivation always works for me. I am always internally motivated over to the external factor. Some people might have that, okay, I'll just go for a quick run, or I'll go to the gym and make myself motivated about the upcoming days or the upcoming week. Or some could have other reasons as well, like I'll just go out with my friends, or I'll do a quick trip and come back. and will feel motivated. So giving you another minute, just go through it, like what could be your possible reason. Perfect. Third is like for all those folks who are planning to join a B2B company, business to business organization as a sales folk, like they definitely the HR or the hiring partner will definitely ask you like, are you comfortable with cold calling? So cold calling is something that you have a list of prospects or you have a list of contacts. It could be from any geography. It could be India. It could be US. It could be Asia Pacific and stuff like that. So, are you comfortable in making all these cold calls? Some calls could be during your regular 9 to 5 job. Some call could be in your evening time, like a US shift, starting from evening till tail night, or some like depending on your time zone. So, overall, like, are you comfortable with cold calling? And cold calling is something which is like you get rejections multiple times. People will just hung up on you. Sometimes people will just abuse you onto the phone. This definitely happens. So like, are you comfortable with cold calling? Like post rejections, will you be able to get up again and do cold calls on the next day? Perfect. Last, I would like to, like, from a hiring point of view or from a hiring partner, they can simply ask you for a fresher that why sales? Like, why do you want to get into sales? You know that it will never be that high paying in the initial level as compared to your friends who are into the tech domain and stuff like that. But like, why sales? So if somebody asks me, I would like to say that okay, I like interacting people, like I like interacting with people. I love talking to them. And second is definitely the money behind achieving your targets. So sales is something whenever you achieve your targets, you get a good amount out of it, depending on what industries or what companies or what geographies you target. But definitely, if in a nutshell, sales definitely gives you an option to make extra money or extra incentives whenever you do good in that particular job. So this will be my answer if somebody asks me why sales. I would like you to think for a moment, like what will be your answer for this one. Cool, perfect. Uh, this is all from my side. I would like to take on some questions you have about it. Could be hiring thing, it could be like any sort of things you have about sales, marketing, and stuff.
So, Sarthak, I think for one of your queries, Akash has answered. I'll recheck my sales or results and work on that.
I'll recheck my sales or results. Sorry, Akash, can you unmute yourself and tell me like what was this about? Akash, you are on mute. Acha, failure things. Okay, okay, got it, got it. So I'll check my sales or results and work on that. Like, if you'd like to elaborate, like, what do you exactly mean? Because I am still like a little bit confused. I cannot take out the conclusion. Okay, meanwhile, Akash types or like unmute yourself and he spoke. And does anybody have any other questions? So you asked that question if you didn't achieve your goal in that point. Okay, perfect, perfect. Yeah. So you'll just recheck my sales and or results and work on that. So yeah, definitely that you just need to go to your past data and see what all you did right, what all you did wrong, and post that you can work on it and start using another approach. So in sales, for example, if you are writing a cold email Cold email is something like as similar to cold call. You just simply type a cold email. So an email has a particular subject line. It has a particular body out there. So in email, A/B testing is being done. What I mean by A/B testing is that you try a particular subject line or you try a particular body line, and you just roll out to one or the like a bunch of people. In the coming days, if you have to send another mail to another bunch of folks, you try a different subject line or you try a different body line and see like which A or B has given you better results. So this is what A/B testing is in cold emailing, which you'll definitely come across in your sales job. So yeah. So similarly, that you just look out to your back, see what all you did right, what all you did wrong, and take your next steps accordingly.
Perfect. Guys, we have Sarthak here with us for some time. Any questions, please put it across. It can be anything related to his journey as well, how he started. Sarthak, maybe we can touch upon that, like how did you approach your company, first company, and then
Okay.
I remember you had a startup as well. So I think a lot of sales you learn from there. So how was your experience?
Okay. So yeah. So as I mentioned, in my earlier BTech days, when I like couldn't identify my interest in the tech background, I started doing internships in sales and marketing domain. So I remember, as far as I remember, I did across close to 10 internships during time of my second year, third year, and fourth year. At different locations. I did one in Delhi. I did 3, 4 in Bangalore. I did one in even Tamil Nadu as well, and some in the Jaipur location as well. Just in the sales and marketing domain, just to identify my niche. From there on, I also pursued a side interest into photography. And with this story, I would definitely would like to just like request everybody to just pay attention on like what you're finding your niche can land you into. So when I was pursuing like or exploring this photography field, I did applied for multiple internships out there, right? And somehow I got an internship working with the legendary Abhinav Bindra, who is a 2008 Olympic gold medalist into the shooting domain. So I was the only Indian selected for that particular internship, and that too for photography. While I was in my third year, as far as I remember. So yeah, I got to work with him. I got to work with Prakash Padukone, Rahul Dravid, and all the like players from Royal Challengers Bangalore and stuff like that. So it got me great interest into like photography as well. So post that I realized, okay, like this is something which I can devote a little bit more time, or I could be like more experimental, because it's just my starting days in colleges and or like in my life as well. So I got my first job into a magazine which used to just pay me 5,000 rupees a month back in 2019. That too in Delhi. I am from Rajasthan. I had to relocate to Delhi with a salary of just 5,000 rupees. Though they have provided me with accommodation and food and stuff like that, but 5,000 is the money I just used to get. So I worked there close to 15, 16 months. And with that, I got to work with some of the amazing photographers from India and even National Geographic as well. So I got an opportunity to interview some of the Net Geo photographers as well from that job I have. And it was like a full-time job, and you are just getting 5,000. But during that time, all I wanted to like explore more or to learn more and to be more experimental. So I did that. During my MBA days, I had already knew that sales and marketing is something now I will focus on full time. Photography is something which I cannot do it my entire life. That too, I realized post working for the magazine. I found it really difficult at certain points. So I thought, okay, sales and marketing, I'll continue. So during my MBA days, in the second year of the college, when there's this summer internship gap. So in my college, it used to be that either you do an internship at a particular organization, or you write a research proposal, or you prepare your own startup. Like you don't have to execute it, but you just can like go through the documents and like presentations and stuff like that. So I, along with my 4 friends from MBA, for like my classmates, we came across an idea into the ed tech domain. So we built a concept called as a micro internship, which was not new in the US market, but it was like a new, very new or at a nascent stage in the India market. So what micro internship actually means is that, like, everybody knows what internship is, right? You work it for a organization for a 2 month or a month and stuff like that. But micro internship is something where you get to work for an organization, for an club and stuff like that, but for a shorter duration. So for example, that I run a finance company and my auditor is on leave for I don't know when. So in that case, I can simply hire a commerce graduate or a person or a student who is currently pursuing commerce, and I can get my work done with that particular student. In that case, what happens is that the organization work is completed and the student gets to work with an, like, they can have that industrial exposure, and they are actually doing jobs out there. So for, like, in multiple internships, I have seen that students don't get that actual exposure. Sometimes all they are doing is some odd jobs. So, like, in my first internship experience, was that I used to recharge other folks who have applied for the campaign. So the company which I was working for used to run marketing campaigns or marketing surveys, and everybody who fills out those surveys will get a 50 rupees or MobiQuick or like a Paytm recharge, I don't know. So all I used to do is that at the like every day I got this 100, 150 or 200 folks, for which I have to just simply do the recharge of them. So, oh, micro internship, I don't know. My the startup is is closed or shut it down right now, but you need to see if micro internship still exists today in India market or not. In the US market, is definitely there, but for the India market, you need to figure it out. Also, if you are from a tier one city, getting this micro internship, like, it's my personal note over here. In tier one cities, micro internship is something I won't say that you'll be finding it much. But in smaller cities like tier two, tier three, where there are small organizations which instantly need some resource, and you are very easy to reach out. Like, for them also, it's easy for you to reach out, and for you also, it's very easy to reach out to them. In that case, I believe it will be much more beneficial, and this was our thought process as well, that because in tier one cities people get good internships or good make decent money, but from where I come from, like a tier three city, internships weren't that great. Like, it was just like either you don't get paid, or it's just that you are not adding value to the organization. So yeah, but internships you can definitely, like, Internshala is out there. Yeah, like, there are multiple platforms for internships as well, and you have to, like, update your CV and keep applying. If you're a sales folk, just don't think about it. Just keep on applying and applying and applying. That's it. Like, more the interview you give, more is your chances of getting a good job out there. Yeah, I would like to still take on some questions before we move ahead into anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, one just a quick reminder, whoever I hear, please do fill the feedback form that I put here. I'll just put it again. It really helps us plan these sessions and also helps us give feedback to the mentors. So accordingly, they can, get better. Yeah, so it's just a reminder before you guys go, please do fill the feedback form.
Please copy this link, because once you get out of the meeting, copying the link is very tough. You cannot do it. So I would request you just take a moment, copy the link, and put it somewhere.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that was a wonderful journey, Sarthak. So building on top of that, you mentioned LinkedIn and Internshala. So while applying for these internships or like what do you say, job, is there some particular companies that they should look for? I mean, because let's assume all of them are from very starting. It will be their first job or first internship. So any pointers that you would give that they should keep in mind when looking out for a company or some keywords or something?
Okay, okay, perfect. So first of all, before you apply into a company, first you need to identify that what you actually like. So as we were discussing about B2B and B2C, like, in a broader sense, like, what do you actually like? Do you want to, like, for example, for a company called Byju's, do you want to call parents and convince them that you can buy our product and stuff like that? Or do you think that, okay, I want to sell it to organizations? So, like, you need to first identify that what you actually like. And no doubt or like no shame in it if you couldn't identify in your first job or your first internship. You'll definitely come across in as you continue this journey. Apart from that, when you apply, I would say just like in the initial days, just first go through the JD as well, because going through the JD will give you clarity that what the actually company is looking for. So for in the search domain, if you type just sales, you might get tons and tons of results which are not that relevant to you. So try to be more specific. So for designations like a sales, I would request you to just note down some of these designations and look out for jobs in these particular designations which are high paying jobs in sales. One is the sales development representative, which works for a B2B organization. Simply, they what these folks do is that they sell softwares to other organizations. Second is business development representative, kind of a similar role to as sales development representative, but yeah, you can look out for the difference. Uh, Third is business development executive, which is an Indian origin designation for a sales professional. So mostly for a business development executive position, you will see jobs which are more on the B2C side of things. I might be wrong as well, but that's what I have figured it out so far. And for sales development representative, or we would like to say SDR or business development representative BDR, they are more into the B2B side of things, or yeah. So it's like you just be more specific when you search for a job. SDR, BDR, yes, sir. That's right. In sales, there are sometimes inbound sales and outbound sales as well. So whenever you search for a job, inbound sales is something. So for example, if I run a business of my own, and if Akash comes and inquire onto that particular website that I want your demo, I want your product and stuff like that. So an inbound team will reach out to them first. He said, you inquired on our website or you inquired on your social media handles. Can I help you out with something? So this is inbound, that you get leads organically or via ads and stuff like that. And outbound team is something which go out of the way to make calls like cold calls or cold emails, and just pitch in. Like you don't know whether this person will buy it or not, but either you don't know that there is this interest or not, but you just go out of the way. So for starting, you can start off with inbound sales as well. This is easier to crack as compared to outbound. And once you're comfortable with inbound sales, you can anytime switch up between outbound as well. Like even organizations will make you or give you the switch, no problem in that. So you can try it, but like you can search SDR inbound, SDR outbound, BDR inbound, or business development executive inbound and stuff like that. So yeah, what else is remaining? In sales, getting a remote job is also easy. It's not that tough. So you can choose your filters about hybrid, on-site, remote, whatever you feel like. Uh, Try to in your early stage, I personally would recommend that try to go in with a startup as compared to a big organization or an MNC if you're stepping into sales, because in startup and sales will give you, or like they'll give you definitely more as compared to an MNC or a big organization. Just talking about sales over here. So try to get involved with startups, so you can just simply select the filters on Internshana and LinkedIn about the employee strength, like what employee strength that particular company holds. Like if it's anywhere 100 people, 150 people, 200 people, 500 people as well, try to get into those. It's easier as well, I would say, because their interview processes are not very long. They'll just have 2-3 rounds of interview. Yeah, one more thing I would like to highlight over here is that sales processes doesn't take much interviews because they don't have much to ask. It's just a generic interview, another interview with a sales folk, a director or VP, and then finally HR. That's all you get. Or sometimes it's a cold, like write a cold email or do a cold call, which you can take help of Chat GPT as well while typing a cold email. But in your initial days, I would like to suggest you that see just examples on Google, like what actually cold email looks like, and try to frame something on your own. Like try to just identify or like try to have a look and feel of like how you are writing a cold email. And once you are comfortable with that, Chat GPT is always there to write cold emails for you. So yeah. What else is remaining in the interview process?
On
And
the
yeah,
no, sorry, continue.
and just I would like to again recommend that take this prospecting tools. if along with your friends. I know it will like it's not that cheap, but yeah, 2 3 friends can combine and take this. Reach out to HRs and hiring partners from those, like once you get the leads. So try to reach out to them on emails and calls, and just try to like apply as much as you can. Like no doubt about it. I'll be very honest to here with you. Like before I get this job, Netradyne, I gave 40 plus interviews. Like I'm not just kidding, 40 plus actual interviews, and I applied like in 200, 250 plus companies over the span of like 1.5 and 2 months. And yeah, that's how it works. It's like very simple, because some demand and supply, everybody knows right now the demand is very less and the supply is very high. Like supply of candidates is very high and the demand of jobs is very low. So you just like go out of your comfort zone, apply as much as you can, try exploring different job onboarding portals out there. There are in fact like different companies. For example, uh we work remotely, and 2 3, I'm forgetting some names, but these are 2 3 companies which have US or UK or Europe companies posting their jobs onto them. And you can actually like as an Indians, you can actually earn in dollars, and you can make a good money out of it, and you can work for these companies, and even that too all in a remote setting, like a 100% remote setting. If anybody has some confusion, maybe Siddharth, they can reach out to me on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Sarthak. Let me just paste your. Then I have your.
Perfect. So, like, look out all these portals. Like, as I mentioned, one is We Work Remotely, second is WeWork. There are other some portals, you'll get it across Google. So all these companies just post US, UK jobs. These gives you salaries in pounds or US and stuff like that, and it's a good start as well. So, like, this is how I got my first job. To be very honest, so my first organization was a US based organization, which was just a 12 people company. They were just paying good. I used to work in US time zone, and yeah, that's how I started my first sales journey as a corporate employee. And any questions so far?
Yeah, awesome. Sarthak covered so many points in that entire flow. So I think uh, yeah, so one that I was sorry interrupting you was when you mentioned Chat GPT. I just wanted to check, but I think you covered it. My question was going to be like, how much of Chat GPT or an AI tool do you think you should involve in this process of learning or job seeking and all?
So from job seeking, I have personally never used it. But in terms of cold emailing, writing your business pitches and stuff like that, you should definitely look out. Just write a clear prompt. So, for example, you'll get some questions in your interview process as well, that this is an executive from XYZ company. We need to pitch our product to them. Kindly write a cold email and some follow-up emails as well. I would first recommend that go onto Google and just try to write it on your own. In the early stages, it's not a good practice, that because this will not like teach you something. You'll just simply copy paste and you'll not get the good results out of it. So first try to write it on your own, and then you can just simply like Chat GPT, Open AI, you can just simply type that particular prompt out there, that hey, I want to pitch to Berger Paints vice president about my product. Let's say I'm just giving a random example, and can you please help me prepare a email to it, a short email to it. Always remember, cold emails are very good when they are short, never very long. Nobody reads it, to be very honest. Like at a senior level, a vice president or director, nobody will literally read it if it's like a more than 3 4 line or 5 line longer than that. So always try to keep your emails short, even if you're pitching to an HR. Like your first email should be very short with a clear subject line. Ki Akash Gupta, this is the designation name, immediate available, or stuff like that. Like within your subject line, you are just stating that what you actually want. And in this next 3 4 lines, you can just simply pitch what you want to pitch to the HR. Similarly, for organizations, when you are doing a sales job, you can take help of, like, you will get the first email, you will ask the Chat GPT to drop you a follow-up email as well, and you can get a 2 3 email cadences out there. Try to analyze what Chat GPT is doing over there. Like, try to use your mind. Just don't, because as I would like to always say that कॉपी करने में भी दिमाग लगता है. Like what I mean is that while you are copying as well, always use your brain. Just don't simply copy paste. So identify what chat GPT is giving you, and based on that, you can like move forward with whatever you want to draft.
Perfect. I think that also covered a lot of aspects. So I guess Sarthak, there are no other questions because I think whatever I was thinking of asking or whatever others might have wanted to ask, but couldn't put across. You covered all that in your last two, three answers. So I think we'll be leaving on a high note. So we'll conclude today's session. Any final thoughts you would like to just put it across?
Just apply more. Don't just sit down. Just keep doing it. Whatever interviews you get, just keep applying, and that's how you'll crack it. Trust me. Like this is my thing. Just keep applying.
Awesome.
Uh,
Also, yeah. Sorry.
Feedback link is there, guys. If
Yeah.
for those who have not copied it, please copy it right now. Any questions from anybody out there? Sneha, Hana, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Dev Kumar ji, Akash. So that I believe that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much. With that, we come to the end of today's session. Thank you so much, Sarthak, for joining us today and for sharing your expertise with us. I believe everyone who listened keenly and also will be seeing the recording will find this session very useful, resourceful, and like I said in the Q&A, I think we covered a lot. So thank you all others participants for joining and making this a great session. A final reminder, I've put the feedback form as Sarthak also has reminded. Before you leave, please do fill the feedback form. It will really help us. So you can visit the Apna website where you will find the recording of this session and also the past sessions that we have organized. You can also check for upcoming events and register them. If you're already part of the Apna community or you already follow their pages, you'll keep getting notifications because we'll be having these sessions every day. So tomorrow we have the next one at 7 p.m. We hope to see you all there. Thank you again, Sarthak. Good evening, good night, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you, team.